Hello, my name is Lauren Fitzgerald, and I am the Neighborhood and Artist Development Coordinator for Metro Arts. This is the Thrive online informational for FY19. Throughout the presentation, you will see a variety of projects that were done in past fiscal years. In the top right-hand corner is the North at Magruder project, led by Artist Dojo, where the community came together to paint a movable large scale artwork. A lot of people call it a mobile mural that shows the identity of the North Nashville community. The mission of Thrive, it's a microfund programming, excuse me, it's a microfunding program designed to build, strengthen, and cultivate communities in Nashville and Davidson County by supporting artist-led projects that encourage artistic and cultural experiences, community investment, and neighborhood transformation. In the top right-hand corner, you'll see the Bontaba Circle project led by artist Maria Estes Hall, and this project brought community together through African drum and dance. Artists must reside and or conduct business in Davidson County to be eligible to apply. Businesses or organizational applicants must be established in Davidson County to be eligible to apply for Thrive. So an artist may apply if they live in Rutherford County or Wilson County, but they must do the project in Davidson County. But businesses or organizational applicants must be established here in Davidson County to apply. Applicants must be at least 18 years of age. The applicant is ineligible to apply for Thrive if they had a funded project to have closed out within the past 12 months. So I applied for Thrive in January. I did my project. I closed out in May. I wouldn't be able to apply for Thrive again until May of next year. Um, all previously funded projects are ineligible for funding. If I'm an artist and I want to do my Napier Pseudonym project. Again, I would be ineligible to do that. But if I wanted to do a project in East Nashville and it impact the community in a similar way, but it was a different project, then that will be eligible. And I'll talk about the Napier Pseudonym Community Identity Project in just a moment. Applicants must partner with another artist or organization or neighborhood group to be eligible to apply for Thrive. The Napier Pseudonym Community Identity Project with artist Stephanie Pruitt Alexander was not necessarily a Thrive project, but also exemplifies the type of engagement that we are looking for within Thrive. These two artists came together and led a photography workshop and as you could tell in the picture, they're adorning a house that uh, is a replica of the homes in Napier and Sudicum. So this brought a lot of pride to the community and gave the kids an opportunity to engage with the art and with different types and different disciplines of art to share their community pride. And if you go to the Pruitt Library, you'll see the actual photography exhibition that they developed. Continuing with the project eligibility, projects must occur in the public domain. They cannot occur with just a closed group of participants. They must be accessible at some point throughout your project to the public. Projects must be accessible by all in accordance to Title IX guidelines and the American Disabilities Act's compliance. This PowerPoint is I can share that via email. So if you want to go down a rabbit hole around what these guidelines and disability compliances are, you can do that. Title IX is saying that you won't discriminate against anyone. So Thrive guidelines and restrictions continued. Funds may only be used for artist fees, direct project management costs, and or art-related supplies or materials that are project-related. Thrive doesn't require a match. Meaning you don't have to go out elsewhere and seek funds to bring back to Thrive to be eligible. That's not necessary. Projects that are already receiving funding or have confirmed funding from Metro government sources are not eligible to apply for Thrive funding. This does not include in-kind support from other agencies. Let's say you partner with the library, they wouldn't be able to fund your project and have Thrive fund your project, but you can definitely have a project at the library because it's open to the public and it's really a natural partnership in a lot of cases for Thrive projects. This continued, Thrive funds may not be used for ongoing embedded or permanent programs of Metro departments or authorities. If you're partnering with parks and you've already got a dance class going on and they've been paying you for that dance class or they haven't, then but it's still an ongoing permanent program in the department, it would not be eligible for Thrive. You can't pay for durable goods, including equipment or capital improvements. Other examples of durable goods include appliances, furniture, musical instruments, consumer electronics, and sporting goods. You cannot pay for administrative supplies, the purchase of real estate, real property, you cannot pay for fundraising activities or advocacy activities. The reduction of accumulated deficits or debts. So if you've done a project, you can't pay to be reimbursed. You can't pay for artworks or artistic projects already completed, exhibited, or performed. You cannot pay for refreshment costs and also activities or programs with religious content, study, or practice. Metro Arts funds must be used for secular arts activities only. There are three funding categories for Thrive. Community art sharing and showcase, which is fundable up to $3,000. Let's say you have a show that exemplifies community in a unique way. It's already You've already written it. It's tour ready. That could be fundable up to $3,000 to put on that tour. Let's say you have a workshop that engages community in an art exchange, whether that be performance or visual arts or any kind of cross-disciplinary art form, doesn't matter. That could be fundable up to $5,000 in the community art, co-design, and co-creation category. Let's say you have a visual installation that could be in a public space for a set amount of time. You as an artist, you will notate that in your application. But it's a deeper engagement. You will be partnering with a community service organization or an agency that has a clear defined community need, and you'll showcase that in a unique way. That's fundable up to $9,500. To your right, you'll see the Walking Within Your Creative Rights project, a picture of that engagement, and that engaged the South Nashville neighborhood in a learning exercise to learn about civil rights, and then translating that into expression through visual arts. They did fashion design, and they also wrote a song together and recorded it. That project was fundable in the community art, co-design, and co-creation space. And last year, that space was fundable up to $4,000. We've raised that $1,000 this year. We score in 4 categories the application, and we'll go over the application a little later in this informational video. Artistic excellence, 25 points, neighborhood placemaking, community engagement and participation, and project feasibility and logistics. In artistic excellence, we're looking for what is the art that we're going to share with Nashville and Davidson County, and also how is that art being used in a unique way to celebrate, showcase, or solve a community and neighborhoods, or solve a community issue. In the neighborhood and placemaking space, we're looking for how are you engaging your neighborhood? What about your neighborhood needs the art that in which you will be engaging that place? So this is more about the place. And when we talk about community engagement and participation, we're talking about how we're engaging the people in that neighborhood, how we're engaging the people, and why are we engaging those people, and how are you going to get them to participate? So that's, we want you to go into depth about the community, defining the community, and how this art can engage community in a unique way. And then we want to know how your project is going to be implemented. And so we ask that you submit a budget, which is included in the application, and a timeline. And those types of points are going to go into your project feasibility and logistics score. The proposal checklist, the completed online application, we'll go over that later. The lead artist resume, whoever your lead artist is, 2 letters of recommendation. One of those letters has to be from your community partner, and that partner cannot be paid throughout the duration of the project or through Thrive. The budget, which is included in the online application, the timeline as well. If you are applying in the public artwork and placemaking space, you will complete a public artworks information form, and you'll submit up to 8 images or 2 minutes of video as your artist support material. Oh, this project is the Impressions Mural Project by Daniel Oriti. He this was actually a public art project, and he assembled canvases and invited the community to paint a mural that represented the Woodbine community and neighborhood, a neighborhood in which he is actually a community member. So the process for approving Thrive is pretty straightforward. This is the pre-application review and coaching. If you are watching this video, this satisfies that part of the process, and then you submit your online proposal. Those deadlines are June 1st, 2018, August 31st, 2018, November 30th, 2018, and March 1st, 2019. Metro Art staff will panel review, score, and recommend projects to the Public Art Committee and the Metro Arts Commission. Upon their review and approval, I will be sharing what projects were awarded. Projects are pretty much competing against themselves until the funding runs out. So all projects that are coming to the pool are considered for funding as long as there is funding available. Post award and pre-project coaching that is available to you. If you have any questions about partnerships, if you or how to handle certain logistical things, there's staff available so that you can bounce and ask questions off of them. And that person is me, Lauren Fitzgerald. So you can contact me at any point. And then there's the project closeout. The award procedure and post-award pre-project coaching. Applicants will be notified via email of the status of their proposal. I did it again. I didn't talk about the international dance workshop. This was project with the Tesova Grupa, and they partnered with a group of dancers to expose the Nashville community, West Nashville and in Southeast Nashville and Antioch, different international customs and dance and folk music. So this was a really cool opportunity for communities to engage with art, to learn about different cultures. Um, Going back to the award procedure, applicants will be notified via email of the status of the proposal. Staff may ask for additional information that must be submitted prior to the first invoice. Metro Arts can continue coaching projects beyond application procedure if needed. Awarded applicants will need to fill out and return a short vendor form if not already a Metro vendor. This is how we are allowing we're using our grant making authority to accept applications, but we're paying you as a vendor as if we're paying you for the community arts engagements that you are doing for Nashville. That's why these are for art. These funds are strictly for artist fees and materials that pertain specifically to your community arts engagement. The invoice schedule. Upon award letter, you will be able to submit an 80% invoice. That's in the community sharing, celebration, and community co-design and collaboration categories. And then you'll implement your project after that 80% invoice. You'll close your project out, and you'll submit a 20% invoice with that. For the public art and placemaking category, we have a 3 invoice schedule. The first invoice is a 40% invoice after your initial award letter. And then you will submit a 40% invoice after your final design has been submitted to Metro Arts for public art staff approval. And then the final invoice is a 20% invoice that will be submitted after the project's closeout. If you have any questions about this, you can also reach me. In the top right hand corner is the North Wall Fest project. It was led by artist Woke 3, and this picture was taken by Keep 3. So this project was a mural project that took place throughout the Buchanan corridor and also underneath the bridge off of Herman Street in North Nashville, and it celebrated the community, which is predominantly African American in that neighborhood. Project closeout. So within 30 days of the project is completed, the applicant will submit a final report form, the invoice, one piece of promotional material showing required credit to Metro Arts, a minimum of 3 high-resolution photos and/or videos documenting the project, and all projects must be closed out by June 15th. The project in the right top here, the right top corner of the screen is the Civil Rap Movement project by Brian Eason. This project was implemented in FY16, and it also engaged the youth community in learning about their civil rights and putting them in rap and poetry form and recording them. So this is a really cool picture. And if you get this, if I send you the PowerPoint, you can actually click on the link where it goes to his YouTube page and shows the actual videos that they created. It's pretty cool. All right, so we're gonna go to the online application. I'm trying to figure out where my cursor is going. Easier for me to do it this way than to click on the link. All right, it's coming up slowly but surely. Okay, so this is what the funding application looks like. And I have signed into my account. You have to create an account for yourself. And I'm going to go all the way down. It has all my information. All right. So this is where we're getting to the actual application. All right. If I can get my computer to match my speed, I'll use the arrow. You go over you put the name of your Thrive project. You will select which category you are going to apply in. You will put all of your information in, your phone number, all of your vitals, what type of applicant you are, if you are a business of organization. If not, you will put NA in this field because this is actually a required field. You put your organizational business. Oh, is the applicant employed by a Metro Arts grant funded agency? This does not automatically put you out of the pool, but we wanting to have clear and open uh, information about how you might be related to any of the grant funded agencies. If your project is an ongoing project of a Metro Arts Fund grant funded agency, then you will not be eligible for Thrive funding. But if uh, you're working for the FRIST and you want to go out and do your own community arts engagement, you would be fundable in that space. We just want full disclosure. Has your organization received Metro Arts grant funds this fiscal year? All organizations, if uh yes, organizations funded by Metro Arts grants are ineligible to receive Thrive funding. Have you previously received Thrive funding? If so, when? FY17. Please describe how this project has evolved and why this project will need to be need continued support from Thrive. You just answer all of those questions as they appear. Um, which type of pre-application coaching did you receive? And as you can tell, it is required, but this webinar uh, satisfies that requirement. So you will click webinar. Um, I have read the Thrive guidelines located on the Thrive website. The full guidelines are there, or I can always send them to you upon request. Amount requested, we are applying in public art, so $9,500. Project dates. Your project must occur between July 1st and June 15th. That is why we are opening up the application process early this year. June 1st is the deadline for this first round. We won't be able to accept any invoices until July 1st, however. You will put the number of participants expected, the project locations, the project neighborhoods, which is the name of the area in which you will be working. You can look up the council districts at that web address. And then there's a bar where you can put in the address of your location, and it will tell you which council district your project location is in. About the applicant. This could be about the lead artist or the organization applying with the lead artist. Or if you are a project organizer and you are independent, you could talk about yourself. And then in the second box where it says about the lead artist, you could talk about the actual artist. But if you are both the applicant and lead artist, just go ahead and put NA in that space, and that will be fine. You will talk about any supporting artists that you'll be working with. Thrive is designed to pay artists. So the more artists we get to pay with Thrive, the better. So if you are intending on working with artists and paying them, go ahead and talk about those artists as well there. Project description. This is a 500-word essay that we're asking you to give us to describe your project, to describe the community, how the community is involved in the project. In this section, also address how the artists are engaging with the community and how this project will impact the neighborhood where it is taking place. Applicants must demonstrate how the community is informing the artist's vision for the work or detail a community co-design process. It's about community, it's about neighborhood, and it's about their vision connecting with the artist. Projects that do not demonstrate community input and or co-design will not be funded. Prior to writing this section, be sure to review the scoring criteria found in the FY19 THRIVE guidelines. You'll go down and talk a little bit more about your logistics. Who are your community partners and how are they helping you succeed with this project? If your project is not fully funded, will you be able to implement the project? Note, if Metro Arts is only able to partially fund the project, staff can help the project coordinator feasibly rescale the project to fit the revised budget. If your project engages youth, please verify how you will be recruiting participants, requesting guardians' permission, and assuring that you have photo release forms for participants in order to use in promotion of projects. Please consider your organizational partners and how they may be able to assist in managing this. Will this project be free to participate? Because we're paying you to do this work, we expect some kind of negotiation with the the price of the project. If not, how much is this going to cost for participants? Also, explain the need for cost to participants. Budget information. I have provided a budget sample for the artist to reference, but you can see that it's fillable. This will not be a part of your application at all. It's just to kind of give you a format as to what we are looking for when we're doing the budget. So you will put your full artist name here and how much you will be paying them. In this case, we've got 7 names and we'll be paying them $500 each. And then I don't need an itemized list of, oh, I scrolled too far up. I don't need an itemized list of materials, but we do want to make sure that you're not paying for things that are not eligible to be paid for through Thrive. So all of the things there are specific to that project and are disposable. So I can't pay for wooden brushes because I can use those in other projects. These are some examples of things that cannot be supported in Thrive, and those are under your non-eligible Thrive eligible costs. Non-Thrive expense subtotal. The form actually does this for you. So my total expenses will be calculated here. And then I will calculate my total income. I scrolled up, so sorry about that. I've accounted for $2,500 of Nissan Foundation money, $2,500 for donations from individuals, my Thrive funding request, which is $4,000, and my total expenses match my total income. And that's what's really important, that this number matches this number right here. So this is where you will actually fill out that form for yourself. And I was coaching an artist and started filling this in. So I will, you will see that this number is negotiable and it's fillable. So I will go ahead and change that. And as I've changed that, it actually changed the number. So if I were to put that back in, you see that it changed the number for Thrive expense total. So it's doing a lot of the work for me. And then I will go down here and put in my Thrive funding request, which is 9,500, because I don't have any donations from individuals or businesses. So that's 9,500, and my total income matches my total expenses up here. So that's the Thrive budget. And then the timeline, you'll just fill this out in accordance to your project occurrences. Your letters of recommendation, you will put in your recommenders um, email addresses, and they will upload their letters of recommendation for Thrive. You can work with your recommenders offline to make sure that the reference letters are to your liking, or if you trust them, you could just put their email addresses in, and then they can upload their their recommendation letters. Remember that one letter must be from a community partner in support of your project. Letters should not come from individuals proposing to be paid through Thrive from the Thrive funds that you are applying for. This is where you will upload your artist resumes. That is where my finger got slippy. And the artist work samples can be uploaded here. You can select up to 8 files for that. And if you are applying in the public artwork and placemaking space in category, you can upload that form here. And then you'll submit it. It'll come to me and I will look over it. If it's submitted to me 2 weeks in advance, prior to the deadline, 2 weeks prior to the deadline, and I'll be able to look over it, coach you through some things and see if you've missed some spaces, and we can work together to get your application as competitive as you'd like, and we'll work to get you Thrive funded, get your community arts engagement funded. So let's go back to the PowerPoint. Um, so you will, if you want to schedule, that's not the, if you want to schedule a Thrive meeting with me offline off of this webinar, you can go to this website, www.calendly.com/Lauren Fitzgerald, and it will pop up hopefully soon, where you can click here and schedule an appointment with me. And so it syncs to my calendar. It's the best thing since sliced bread. And you can schedule whenever I'm open, and it'll just go straight to my calendar. I don't have to I don't have, you just schedule appointment when you're available. And if you're not available, if your schedule changes, then you can reschedule through this app as well. You don't have to tell me, oh, take this off of your calendar. No, you could just go straight through this dashboard. We can meet at the Metro office, where I work on the fourth floor of the Metro's office building, or we can meet for coffee within 3 miles of the Metro office building. That's up to you, and we can discuss that once you've scheduled that with me. Thank you so much for the work that you do in communities. We're constantly trying to figure out ways to better support artists so that more of these deep community engagements in the arts happen more frequently, and our artists are being supported for that work. So I definitely appreciate any artists or person interested in getting community arts engagement in Nashville and Davidson County and for this city, because you all are what makes Nashville great, our creators and innovators. So thank you so much. And if you have any questions, just let me know. My email address is lauren.fitzgerald@nashville.gov.